Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through that intermission. We are pivoting over to the CSW division for this game and the following game. This game is a super exciting one featuring two different world champions. Joel Wapnick, originally from Canada, now hails from Ohio in the US, versus Wellington Jighere from Nigeria. I'll leave it to the chat. There's a puzzle. What do these two players have in common that they don't necessarily share with the other world champions? I'll let y'all think about that, stew it over. But Joel Wapnick winning his championship in 1999 and Wellington in 2015. Going to be a great game of Scrabble for y'all at home. I'm joined today for these next two games by our resident CSW expert, Mina, who's going to provide a commentary as I'm not super well versed on CSW. Mina, how are you doing?
Hey, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon to those of you who are not in the morning zones. I'm doing awesome. It's good to be back on stream. Man, very, very exciting tournament so far. We were just reviewing on cross tables that there have been some unusual results. Things are pretty close at the top, as you'd expect for day one. Some people who did really great last time are not doing great yet, but still, there's a ton of Scrabble left to play. This is a 31-game tournament, so the good thing about a new day is it's a fresh start, blank slate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every day, just a little 7-game mini tournament that all kind of stacks up upon itself. So we'll see. Joel Wapnick sitting at 5-3 right now. Wellington at 6-2. Lots of titans in the CSW field, man. They're just so many good players. But we saw this matchup between two world champions and had to bring it onto stream. So we are getting underway with some more action. Wellington shaking the tiles. Wow, he's really shaking those tiles upside down, right side up. I'd be afraid I'd spill 30 tiles all over the floor and have the world's greatest overdraw. But alas, I guess he's got his technique down and refined, and he's drawing his tiles. We're underway. EINT, great way to start for Wellington. What can he add to it? Oh, he hasn't even shown us the last two letters. He's just going to bingo. So there's an N, R, Interon, or Tenon, or Turnion,
or
Turnion.
Turnion
Is what he's going to go with.
Oh, there we go.
Don't even have to look at the tiles. Just go ahead and put it down.
Yeah, you don't want to waste time, guys, when you have a no-brainer like this. They're all one-letter tiles, so the placement just involves putting the consonants next to the double-letter scores. No, don't waste mental effort on something like this.
66 points right off the bat for Wellington, and Joel with a rack not too bad on his own. ACIIORT is his pull. Looks like it might bingo, but alas, not quite there for Joel. He won't be able to do it here. So we'll get to see a fun decision. Fishing IO or OI for just 8, holding ACIRT makes some sense with some of those floaters available. A play like Ionic through the N also makes some sense and kind of sets up two separate quadrants to this board. Or he can play a little bit longer and score a little bit more. He's got Ciao, CIAO, on top of Turnion for 16, or Cortina, Cation available through or to that N and Turnion as well for 18 or 22 points. So we'll see how aggressive does Joel want to be in terms of fishing versus scoring. I'm not super familiar with his strategy. Mina, do you know a little bit more about Joel and how he tends to play?
No, not yet. I like this Ionic idea among the options that you mentioned, though. I mean, it gets those eyes off his rack, gets them on the board. Bionic is a fun possible hook after that, and it keeps good stuff to go with the other floaters.
Bionic and Pionic, the other fun
Ooh, cool.
front hook to that. So we'll see. We'll see what Joel decides to do. I'd spend a lot of time scoring 8, especially in CSW, is so hard to do, especially if you're not holding a superb leaf. ACIRT good, but not amazing. And Joel probably wants to make sure he's not missing a bingo here on stream. Nobody wants to do that. We have the anagrammers, so we get to know, but he has to think and take his time and be smart and all that stuff.
For those of you who don't know, Joel wrote the book How to Play Scrabble Like a Champion. I don't think I finished reading it. I think I started it, but I can't. I don't remember any style tips straight off the bat from it. It's been a while.
Nobody in chat has figured out what exactly these two have in common with their national championships. Think about geography, and you'll get there. Think about it. Think about where worlds have been held, and that'll guide you to your answer. Oh man, I don't know what he's gonna do. Ionic looks like such a bad play, but you just got nothing else.
There we go. We got Lewis McKay with the answer. Both won their titles in Australia. That is correct.
That's it. Yeah, Wellington winning in Perth, and I believe Joel winning in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So, yep, they both won their titles in Australia. Much longer trip for Joel than for Wellington, but that's the answer. Joel's doing exactly what I would do here. Just spend a million minutes, a million seconds, spend a lot of my time just being sad, honestly. Like, man, everything is terrible. Nothing is good. I can't really even set up myself up next turn. I'm just sad.
So I guess we can gossip a little bit. I saw on Facebook they posted what happened at the town hall at the Scrabble Players Championship last night. And somebody asked where the North American Championship is going to be held next year. Apparently, no contract's been signed yet, but the locations under consideration include returns to Baltimore, Buffalo, Fort Wayne, and a new location, Loveland, Colorado. Those look like their top options, according to John Chu.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
Again, Fort Wayne didn't sound like a fun place at all, but hey, it was very cheap and enough local walkable bars and barbecue places nearby that we still had a really good time there. Okay. Buffalo, very cheap as well. And for a lot of our Canadian players, a super easy drive there. I'm already scheming my combined Toronto-Buffalo vacation if we end up there. So yeah, and Loveland, Colorado. I'd love to go up to Colorado as well and spend a little bit of time there.
Tell me about Loveland. Is it a ski resort? Is it close to Denver? Like, I don't know anything about it.
I have no idea. I have never heard of it.
Or maybe somebody in the chat, because I already hear some enthusiasm for Loveland in the chat. Maybe you guys can enlighten us what's special about this place. Ionic. There's the move that I like. Great.
The second most populous city in Larimer County. Okay. 45 minutes from Denver and near Boulder as well. So, okay, near Denver. That'd be cool. That'd be nice. Okay. And cheap flights probably as well in and out of Denver. So Joel electing to play Ionic. Again, no good options here. I guess that's the least bad one. And probably what I'd make in this situation. Joel hasn't hit his clock yet. I don't know what the rules are. I'm pretty sure you're not.
Oh, no, the rules are you have to hit the clock before you draw. He already drew.
Yeah. So Joel not having hit his clock yet. I wonder if Wellington is aware. We'll tell him to hit it. This is sad though. Joel's already drawn new tiles too.
Yeah, that's
so it's not like he's thinking about his play. He just didn't hit the clock. I don't know if we have like an iPad on the ground that was insensitive or really he knows to hit the clock. This is concerning. I wish I could say or do something, but I don't know what the rules specify. I don't think our team on the ground can say anything either. But it looks like maybe they did. Okay. Yeah, Joel has hit the clock now. All right.
All right, good. So people in the chat are talking about Quaternion as a fun as the style play here.
Yeah, Quaternion. Wow, that's a super cool one.
It's very cute.
Independent of style, I think maybe the best play here just SUQ and Turnions scores 40 points.
Yeah, that looks like what he's considering.
Otherwise, Ionic does take a back S hook, and so he can play queens or its anagram queenas there for 38 if he prefers to go for a little bit more turnover. I know I, in particular, loathe the tile F far more than what Quackle says. So I hate it, but, not a good way to get rid of it. You either play off the F or the Q this turn. And it looks like Wellington is going to make the longer play and perhaps the more defensive play here of Queenas hooking onto Ionic. So, yeah, decent choice. We talked about the two front hooks to Ionic, both the B and the P.
Are they off the field now because of the S?
Oh, well, that's a good question, isn't it? We'll see how comfortable these players are about those hooks. One of them, Bionics, is still valid, but the Pionic hook does not take an S. So B still in play, P now out of play as Wellington plays Queenas. And Joel looks to bingo here, AAELORT.
Yeah.
So areolate down to the E is the easy high prob bingo, the only bingo he has available here as well. And I want to say Word Freak featured on Joel Wapnick. He's rather unique in the way he studies words. He does all his vowels first and has like these crazy mnemonics, right, to remember what consonants go with what vowels. So we see AAEO LRT is how he's arranged his racks, and probably going through his head his mnemonics that he's made before he hits areolate here. So 77 points for Joel. After Wellington hits a baby bingo early on in the game, Joel just the next turn hitting him back with one, and that's going to make it 92 to 104 in Wellington's favor. Oh, it looks like there was also a challenge on Ionics. Is that correct?
How did we not see them get up? I'm a little confused how that
was it adjudicated by the team. Try to get some clarification. Oh, they did it on the they're running the clock on. Okay, so that actually make it 109 to 92 for Wellington instead. Okay, so 109 to 92, Wellington's favor and Wellington's turn here as he's got AEFGGOO. So nasty, nasty. I told you I hate Fs. I hate it even more when it's got two Gs and two Os to go with it. So I think Wellington has to forego points in order to play forego or something similar out of this rack. FOREGO through the R and areolate looking like maybe the play here. You're welcome. I'm sorry for that, but I've got to try to work in puns because it's the only way I know how to be funny. So forgo is 22. Goof is a more defensive version of a similar play, GOOF. Back hooking the I in Ionics for 21 points holds AEG as opposed to just AG. But kind of like what we saw with Joel earlier, no good options, just a bunch of meh options. And it looks like Goof is indeed what Wellington going to pick here, choosing the defense over the spreading it wide open in forgo. That'll put Wellington up 130 to 92 as Joel to play out of EFILNRS. No bingos available for him here, and we'll get to see how many of these tiles do I play off versus how close do I try to stay in bingo range. Plays that stand out look like Finn or Fern underneath Queenas. Finn would be 25, Fern, FIRN, would be 29. So do you want to hold that R in ELS to hold ELRS, or do you just want to score 4 more points and put down one additional tile? Could also look at playing in other places, something like FLIR alongside Goof, scores 29 and holds ENS. So decisions for Joel to make, but you have to feel good about almost any of those plays, retaining your S for that big turn-ins spot and scoring quite well. If he truly does want to blow it all up, he's got a 41-point play available as well in Flyers alongside Goof with 4 overlaps. 41 for Flyers as well. So how much does he want to score? How many of these 1-point tiles does he want to keep? How does that change his bingo percentage next turn versus the odds that he draws some scoring tiles? A tough turn, and lots of these options look very similar. Mina, how do you feel about maybe cashing in the S right now in Flyers for 41 versus a smaller, dinkier fishing play?
I like keeping the S just because turn-in takes the S. And so I like something like FLIR. I did just look up if areolate takes an S. It does not, but it does take a D, and that's worth keeping in mind for later. Areolated.
Ooh, areolated. Very nice. Yeah. That S is going to be important for both players. Joel not going to cash it in this turn, but it looks like Wellington will as he's sitting on towages or stowage. on his next turn, and that's either one of those would play alongside Turnian with almost. I have no expectation that Joel would block either one of those given the options he has. So likely Joel to make a 30-ish point play, stay in bingo range, and then Wellington to get down a bingo of his own.
Areolated and areolate are both adjectives. It means divided into areolae.
Those words are so frustrating, those ATE words. Which of them are adjectives already? Which of them do and don't take S's? Which of them do and don't take D's? Sometimes the ATED form is good, but not the ATE form. And it feels very random and arbitrary in both lexica on those. Yeah. You've just got to know it.
You just have to memorize. Yeah, like azoted. I remember drew a challenge early on. I mean, azote is a noun, but takes a B. There's a lot of those. Very strange.
Yeah, lots of strange stuff. Lots of memorization to play Scrabble at the very high level as these guys do. For those of you watching at home, you're not going to end up playing against these people in tournaments unless you actively seek it out. Don't stress super hard about not knowing all of these words. There are beginner, intermediate, expert divisions. You'd likely start at a beginner division with people with similar word knowledge to you, not playing against world champions like Joel Wapnick or Wellington Jighere.
Yeah, very true. So, yeah, no, so we just want you guys to come out. If you're watching the stream and you haven't yet joined us in person, you can go to cross-tables.com.
Yeah, Joel's had several interesting turns this game. Ionic is very hard. This is very hard as well. You know, just these decisions, how many of these tiles do I actually want to play off?
It's hard.
A lot of the time, there's no clear answer. Both of these turns, there's been no clear answer. Joel actually getting what looks like very aggressive here, just playing
unusual.
IF. That's surprising to me. ELNRS, very bingo-prone leave, especially with that floating A and the floating E. But if you pick up two consonants, you're in a lot of trouble. You've got a bunch of one-pointers that don't score. Joel is, though, going to pick up an A and another A, so he'll have bingos like Arsenal. We'll see what fits on the board, as he was expecting probably to hit the Turnian spot for his bingo, but instead Wellington taking that away with Towages.
Yeah, that was a
Arsenal
move.
Not going to fit. No available 8s for Joel. That's got to be a bummer. You sacrifice a lot of points to be as aggressive as possible to bingo now. And you do draw your bingo, but the spot goes away. And not only does it go away, it goes away with a bingo from your opponent. 88 points as well for Towages from Wellington. So I don't know what the terms should be for when your opponent blocks your bingo with their own bingo, but we need to come up with one. Chat, that's going to be our goal this tournament. Come up with a really catchy phrase for when your bingo gets blocked by your opponent's bingo. Resign, maybe, I think is the term for it. But, so we saw Joel get very aggressive with the fish, foregoing a lot of points with IF to try to fish as aggressively as he can. Now we'll see once again how aggressively he decides to be. The board shape is very different now. The S hook has gone away. There are no other S hooks, so it's going to be much harder to fit a bingo on this board. But do you just play off an A somewhere, something like TAO? For 7 points? Do you try to set yourself up? LAR plays really nicely down to the R in Turnians as well, making Alif and Tau. That holds AENRS and scores 15, but doesn't open you up at all. You can also score 25 points with a play like LANE alongside Towages, hitting that triple and neutralizing that spot. Or you can try to find ways to open up the board. You could also fish your A, making AT and AT on top of Turnians for just 6, but that opens a bingo line that's going to be tough for Wellington to address without foregoing a lot of points. I don't know what the right play is here. I don't know that anybody knows what the right play is here, but Joel now in a world of trouble as he's gotten caught up in these 1-point tiles that don't bingo on this board. Definitely a bad beat as his spot got blocked. His plan certainly was to hit an S bingo with Turnians, but what does he do now? How does he get himself out of this mess? He is a world champion. We'll see what he can do. I might just play something like Anneal, honestly, ANNEAL through the N in Queenas. Just get this board up and
I like
open
that.
again before
I
I
like
get
a
walled
nail,
in
yeah.
against Wellington, who's a great player on his own accord. You're down 100 points. You've got to try to get things open up before you get walled in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think open it as much as possible. I like either fish off 1A right above the T and Turnions or a Neil going down at the bottom.
Okay, so Joel is going to score points here. Lane is his play. Yeah, you can't let Wellington score 40 over in that spot as you're going to score, 10 or 15. So I think that's a reasonable decision by Joel. Lane coming down, and Wellington CDEIIIZ is his post bingo draw. So he'll be able to score okay with that Z. I always feel like in Collins you've got to score 40 or 50 with your Z. He won't be able to do that here. So I guess he decides how much can I score with it? Is there any way I can set it up? But I think the very standard play of ZITI through the T and Turnions has to be his best play here. And yeah, Wellington wasting very little time before he puts that down.
Yeah. Keeps a very nice synergistic leave of C.
AAHOPRS now for Joel. And he will be able to bingo out of this rack, though it's a tough one to spot. Anaphors, ANAPHORS, through the N and Turnions overlapping is the only playable bingo for him. That'd be 83 points, and very crucial, I think, for Joel that he spots this. There's no way he doesn't know this word. He has studied so much and has been so on top of his words and on top of his game for a long time, but tricky to look in that spot and notice that thing.
Hope he finds it.
Wellington drawing into verdict as well. I don't see a spot for that to go down, but if Anaphors come down, Wellington
comes down, then there's a spot. Yeah.
So wow, this game is Joel is going to find Anaphors here, and he's going to get hit right back with verdict, which is a board closing bingo that scores very well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big bad break for Joel. The second time Wellington hits him with the tough bingo in a tough spot, just as Joel feels like he's catching back up in this game. Well spotted by Joel. The verdicts will come down almost instantly if I had to guess from Wellington. Might take a little bit of time to look through that A and that E, make sure he's not missing anything better. But man, verdict is going to be a killer.
That feels like a nail in the coffin for Joel, especially because Wellington's got 20 minutes, Joel's got 10 minutes, and this is just going to put him down 100 points.
Verdict I think putting Wellington ahead 321 to 223 on now what is a suddenly very tight board. Joel's going to need an I, and he's going to need a good play underneath Queenas to get back into this.
Yeah.
It is worth pointing out both blanks are still unseen as well. So Joel could claw his way back in, but the board's going to have to open up for him, and he's going to have to fight to do that, as I'm sure Wellington will block things off.
Of course. He's going to want to block under Queen as soon as he's done with the verdict. And unfortunately, Joel drew Drek, so he's going to have to fight a while towards the blanks. I don't know. I guess one thing I've learned from playing tournament Scrabble is you always have to stay positive. I mean, it is possible to come back in scary situations.
I'm curious what Wellington could be thinking about here. He's drawing a lot, writing a lot on his score sheet, perhaps maybe writing out all the alphagrams in these racks. There's no way he's going to miss verdicts here. I think he just sees that bingos through the E and areolate will be significantly more points for him.
Okay.
But, we're not going to see Wellington miss verdict here.
No, and it's just so good strategically. If verdicts to close down that bottom part of the board, rows 13 and 14. It just seems, even if you have to sacrifice some score, verdict seems very correct to me.
Joel has drawn an I. That's going to be important to help him play underneath Queenas when or if verdict comes down. But with there we go. He has set it up now. He's seen it. That's going to be important for helping him open this board back up. But board construction now very, very important. As just a dinky little play alongside areolate next turn from Wellington could be game over for him. So Joel's got to open this board, and he's got to open this board right now.
Right.
Tough for Joel.
Not easy at all.
Verdicts is coming down now as we expected. Not sure. I guess Wellington just wanted to be extra sure that he didn't miss any bingos through the E. Maybe he feels that's a better bingo line. Maybe he just wants to score more points. But we know that this is his highest scoring and only bingo on this rack. I'm not sure what Joel needs to do out of this situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he can
UEY plays alongside anaphors for 31. But yeah, any 4-tile overlapping play or even 3-tile overlapping plays alongside Areolate are effectively game over. Unless Joel fishes for like an OID or ID bingo hooking Areolated. He needs to open another line because his board is going to get shut down. And yet at the same time, he needs to score points. There's not a great way for him to score points and open the board.
Yeah.
A play like BUI, I guess, opens the board a little bit, but only scores 19 points. Holds EERY, which is not superb. So yeah, Joel is going to play UE, definitely the best equity play by a large margin.
Sure.
Maybe he just has to hope Wellington is all vowels and can't block up this board. Maybe he's going to try to make a crafty setup later on in the game that might be unblockable. Or maybe he's just trying to get equity and figure out what happens as he's down a big margin on a board that is not going to do any favors in helping him get back into this game. Wellington with a nice balanced post bingo draw of ABEELMY. And yeah, he's drawn those easy overlapping plays. BEY plays alongside Areolate for 27. Maybe not the best idea to give ER as the 2 letters that Joel could bingo through, as that probably makes it easier than almost any other 2-letter combination he could allow for Joel to hit a 9 and bingo back. But it scores 27. It makes it a lot tougher for Joel to bingo. He's also got a 40-point option available in Belayer to the R in Areolate. So if Wellington rather decides, I'm just going to try to score points. If you bingo, you bingo. I don't care. That's an option for him as well. It also crucially turns over 6 tiles with 2 unseen blanks, which helps him dig in the bag. But BEY makes a ton of sense. Belayer makes sense as well. And I'm not seeing anything else that stands out as a superb option. He could play BAY instead of BEY if he's very scared about the ER.
Seems like a bad idea, though, with how many E's are unseen and how few A's are unseen. I like how you laid out the options. I think BEY
a big thing about UE is it did retain an I for Joel, so he'll have options to open the board. Not great ones as far as I'm seeing, but a play like KUTI will let him maybe open things back up. But UE was a great high-scoring play that kept Joel with a good leave, but maybe he's hoping he has a great, perfectly fitting like IST bingo under Queena's ISTER will fit as a 5 overlap. INTER. I don't know. There's definitely overlaps that exist that are possible, but he hasn't drawn into any of them with the KU combination really just breaking up the synergy on his rack once again.
Yeah. KUTI is a painful way to have to open because now your floaters are K and U. That's like you.
Maybe chat can help us out. I'm very unfamiliar with Wellington's game, but I don't know if he's the type to play defense or if he's more the type to just score as much as he can. That might give us some insight as to whether he's going to play Bay versus Belayer, but I don't honestly know why he's taken this long. To me, it seems like BEY is a great play. It almost looks like he's thinking about LAMB, LAMB in the same spot, which would close things off maybe a little bit more. It wouldn't give ER back for Joel to try to hit things through. But yeah, I don't know that you want to spend this much time on this turn. When else are you going to spend it? Scrabble turns into a game of whack-a-mole if you get a lead and you're able to shut the board down. So a lot of your plays, I think, are going to be no-brainers. Belair is what coming down for Christian here, or I'm sorry, for Wellington here. 40 points as opposed to the lower scoring options. And yeah, going digging for those blanks. Chris Light pointing out in chat that in general, Nigerian players play more closed. So perhaps a little surprising here, but a spread also matters in these tournaments. And when you draw really good stuff, maybe you do just want to maximize your spread as best as possible. So, it looks like we're going to get a challenge here as well. Joel just throwing a nickel Wellington's way. Again, CSW is a 5-point challenge. So Joel won't lose his turn on this challenge. He will just give Wellington 5 additional points. But yeah, reasonable decision. Joel has to feel like this is close to game over here as, 40 points. It puts Wellington up well over 100.
Wonder why they got up for this challenge, but not for the first one.
I expect to see on Joel's next turn KUTI come down in addition to opening the board up. That also gives us, maybe a little bit more bingo lines to play through. But Joel's close to dead here. He just hasn't drawn what he needed to in the situations he needed to draw them.
Right.
IF maybe a play we go back and look at, like with some curiosity, but he did what he wanted to do out of that. He drew the bingo. It just didn't fit. He just didn't quite have the right timing he needed as Wellington's coasting to a victory here. Ooh, chat. Thanks to Zuglia in chat for pointing out a play like Reduit plays underneath Queenas as well. Just open that triple, say screw it, do something about it. Maybe
That's
you have
cool.
a terrible rack and it's going to be tough for you to address. That is actually exactly what's happened here. Wellington, despite drawing 6 tiles, missing both of the blanks. So that's a way to add some volatility.
I like Reduit. I like Reduit.
Need it. But Joel's going to play KUTI here. That makes a ton of sense as well. DER, great leave. And we'll see what Joel's able to draw. A blank might give him just a little bit of life here. 2 blanks would actually be worse, I think, in this instance for Joel, as you're going to need probably both of those blanks in separate draws. 2 bingos likely what he needs to get back into this game, or 1 bingo and some help from the tile gods. And that's what he's getting here. Wellington does not have a good rack, but HUD plays through the D, and Kuti blocks a lot of those lines without opening much back up and scores 28 points. So I'd be surprised if we see anything else. Maybe Jehu, Jehu, plays through the E and B layer, or a similar play to Hudud is a Durdum, Durdum. Any of those plays make sense for Wellington. So despite what looks like just an absolute garbage rack, Wellington's going to have some options and be able to play through. Unseen to Wellington are 22 tiles, meaning 15 in the bag, including both blanks. So we'll try to get that unseen pool up here for y'all, but it looks reasonably consonant heavy. I only see 6 vowels, actually, A, E, 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 I, O, unseen, and 2 blanks, but a bunch of consonants and a K as well. So Wellington got some stuff to think about, but vowels are going to help Joel bingo, and there's not a lot of them unseen. Wellington has to think, maybe I want to knock out the floating vowels, knock out the E and the A. I don't totally understand, but I don't totally know what to do.
Toughie. It's gonna go with Hudud. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah, now bingos through the E are now possible. It's crazy how long the blank stayed hid in this game. Looking dimmer and dimmer.
We were having some technical difficulties there. Mina, I can hear you again. I was without you for a while, so I'm super sorry if I talked over you.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no, you were saying good stuff, so it's all good.
All right. Well, I've got you back. Good to have you back as well. Sorry for droning on with potential interruptions. Wow, I just could not hear you at all. I thought your internet went out. I'm like, I'm going to carry this for a minute, but nope. I just screwed up some of the sound options, I guess, on my end. All right. So Hudud is coming down, Hudud. That makes a ton of sense. Wellington picking up a lot of good stuff. The X is going to hit
Finally,
that spot. The blank, he's found one as well. And Joel, just the latest of bad breaks for him, as he still doesn't have anything good, still doesn't have a blank.
I guess it's all about closing spread at this point, right? I mean, there's just no way Joel's winning. So
yeah, I think right here you probably throw in the towel. Maybe you have one more chance at a Hail Mary, but I don't know. 18 tiles unseen, 11 in the bag. Time is quickly running out for you. I'm sad for Joel. Like,
yeah, Joel too. I'm not even sure what. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're just looking to score at this point and just give up
yeah.
Would you play next to Hudud to I mean, it seems silly, but
yeah, GEM next to Hudud.
yeah, GEM next to yeah.
Or maybe you hope to bingo and then hit an X play next turn. That's maybe your only path to victory here, but I don't know. He's dead. There's nothing he can do in this game.
Yeah.
Man, I was so excited for this matchup too. Two world champions, two great players, and sometimes Scrabble just sucks.
Sometimes baggings happen and very lopsided games happen.
Alas. Someone suggesting rum, RUM, through the U in Hudud, which would set up like the D or the G.
A as well, right? Arum?
So Arum is good too. Only one unseen A for Joel.
Yeah.
So I don't think it scores enough that even if you do hit that spot, it matters. But I don't think anything matters at this point.
No, I don't. There's really nothing good.
On the bright side for Joel, he is in Las Vegas. And despite not having a fun game, he will certainly be having a fun time at this tournament. Vegas has something for everybody. If you're a gambler, awesome. If you're not a gambler, well, there's still a bunch of fun stuff to go ahead and do. I think about 30 Scrabblers went to go see Barry Manilow yesterday.
Yeah, Barry Manilow seemed like a fun opportunity for people for sure. And then I've anecdotally seen people winning thousands of dollars at the slot machines as well. So
yeah,
that's always fun.
Whereas you're going to see people posting about winning at the slot machine and not about losing at the slot machine. But hey, I'm glad people are winning money and having fun.
Yeah. Hope no one's been affected adversely by the heat yet. I worry about that, especially if your hotel is far away.
Yeah. Oh man, Hannah was saying yesterday her mom had to walk a mile in the heat.
What?
Like, I can walk a mile, but not in 120 Fahrenheit, not in nearly 50 Celsius. So, yikes. So Joel has to be sad. LOX coming down, giving Wellington an even bigger lead. Joel picking up 7 consonants. Man, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, really.
It doesn't really rain in Las Vegas, but it is definitely raining on Joel's parade here. This victory going to launch Wellington up to 7-2, drop Joel down to 5-4. But this is so early in the tournament. The format of this tournament is that you need to be either first or second after 28 games to be moved to a best-of-5 finals for the championship. Both of these players absolutely in striking range of doing that. So not anything concerning for Joel. It's early in the tournament, but definitely kind of a demoralizing loss. And that blank is still hiding in the bag. 11 unseen, 4 in the bag to Joel. I expect to see him play 3 tiles here, and maybe he'll get surprised by it. Though the way he's drawn this game, he'll play off 3 tiles. He'll leave the blank as the last.
Yeah, he'll leave the blank in the bag.
Calling it right now. That's what we're going to see, everybody. He'll play PENT through the second E in bilayer, draw the blank, or leave the blank, not bingo, and just be sad.
Yeah.
While we're here, I'll make a plug. Those of you who enjoy watching CSW, shortly after this tournament, the Scrabble Players Championship ends in Vegas. The World Scrabble Championship, or Westpac, I believe, I don't know what it's called right now, is going to begin in Vegas. Same hotel,
Westpac.
same venue, many new players, and all CSW. I'll be back on stream, joined by Nitz Chugty, and we'll have all Collins action, 5 days of Scrabble for y'all there. So if you like Collins, make sure you set your calendar, and we'll see more Scrabble action. If you're a TWL player, hey, join in anyway. It's fun. If you just like watching Scrabble, join in anyway. It's fun, and we'll see a lot of y'all there. Plus, the next 3 days here, we'll have a lot of NWL content for y'all. NRST is Joel's leave. What's he gonna get? A. E.
Blank. Oh. Satine.
A. Blank. Okay.
Yay! Finally.
Finally, I think Joel
Finally,
might
good
just be able to bingo.
Yeah, he might just be able to bingo.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, he has a really fun play. He has a 6 overlap. He has 2 6 overlaps underneath bilayers. So I'll leave that alone for chat. Wellington, I expect to watch him play Jive and EL here or something similar, and then we'll get to see if Joel finds his 6 underlap incredible bingo, or if he'll play one of his lower scoring bingos through that A, or if Wellington blocks everything. I don't think Wellington can block it all.
I was wondering if Wellington could block everything. I don't think he can with his clunkiness here.
Yeah, I mean, a playthrough OH. I know. I mean, with the underlaps. No, Wellington, I don't think can get cute here with the really, really terrible rack and all the high scoring tiles he has. Yeah, he'll just play Jive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Leaving Joel's 6 tile overlap open.
Yeah, unseen to Wellington, ABENRST blank. You're just like, well, this is bad. But alas, yeah, he's doing the right thing. Just play off as many of these tiles as you can, score points, get rid of that J so you don't get caught with it. He's likely going to bingo out, but whatever. SOH is a valid word, so many bingos play ending in ES or AS in that spot. Yeah, knock it out.
Yeah.
And we'll see what Joel decides to do here. 2 88 pointers with 6 overlaps exist. And otherwise, he's got a bunch of like boring 70, 72 pointers. You can play lanterns down from the L or, anything else boring.
Yeah. Hopefully he sees the overlap.
Yeah. So the 2 8s chat has finally given them away. They are resonate or resonate, either one fitting underneath B layers, RESINATE or RESONATE. Both of those would score 88. Not enough to win Joel this game, but super cool nonetheless. So we'll see. We'll see what Joel finds. I'd be so demoralized here. I just want to make a play and get out of the room.
I know. I'd probably want to leave too.
Spread always a consideration. And hey, if you can drop a 6 overlap on stream, even if it is a baby bingo, like, hey, you got to do that, right?
Exactly. It restores your morale very slightly.
Absolutely. So we'll see. He's got 1:39 to figure it out.
Great audience size, 224 in the chat right now. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Happy Sunday to y'all. Or I don't think anywhere in the world it's quite Monday yet. Maybe it is in like Australia. I don't know how time zones work. I'm too tired to think about this right now. But happy Sunday, happy Monday. Thanks for joining us. We'll have 2 more games before we go to lunch break here at the Scrabble Players Championship from Las Vegas. The next one, we will get 1 more Collins game. I don't know what that matchup's going to be yet. But if they've posted the pairings and chat has a preferred pairing, shout it out right now. They have posted the pairings. So let's see. Yeah, cool games for sure. It looks like right now it would be Olatunde Oduwole versus David Eldar on board 1. So that could be a good one. Yeah, I think that's probably what we'll carry. It's almost 4 a.m. in Australia. Okay, if you're here from Australia, kudos to you. You must really love Scrabble. And we'll see you again at 4 a.m. for the Worlds a little bit later. Joel doesn't have enough time to go through all the options for
Aw,
the great bingos. He's not going
no
to
overlap.
resonate, but Lanterns is the next highest scoring bingo available for him. He does get to have a little bit of fun, keep things respectable in what had to have been a very frustrating game from his end. Final score is going to be 492 to 423 in Wellington's favor. Joel bringing it a little bit closer, keeping it a little respectable in a game that really felt lopsided.
It felt very lopsided, so at least breaking 400 is respectable.
Yeah, for sure. Verdict, I think the final verdict in this game, as Joel's blank came too little too late. Yeah, so I think we'll bring David Eldar back on stream for our next game against Olatunde. That'll be a good one for us. Last time David was on stream, he inexplicably pulled a victory from the jaws of defeat as we watched Alex Seaholm make a very crazy, uncharacteristic mistake, failing to block David's out bingo and allowing David to win the game.
Did we ever obtain any insider information on that? We were
I've
hoping
got no
some
information at all about it. If anybody in chat knows what happened there, please let us know, because that was absolutely baffling. You don't expect a player as good as Alec to do something as weird as that. Was there a missed score? Was there a missed track? I'm not sure. But anyway, if y'all missed that, it's round 4 from day 1. Maybe during lunch break, if you really want to watch more Scrabble, you can go back and take a peek at that one. It was a CSW game that watched David Eldar just put on a clinic on how to steal something that is dead. I think his win percent 2%, and he came back and won it. So Wellington pointed out Resonate existed. So Joel, man, bummer.
Wellington's smiling big. He's very happy.
Yeah, he's happy to have those 16 spread points. Happy to have a victory here on stream as well.
For sure.
And happy to launch himself up to 7-2. That'll keep him right in the thick of contention in the CSW division here. I think we are going to take a quick break, and we'll get those tiles squared up, get those new players on board 1 here in Las Vegas. For those of you joining in more recently, thanks for hopping in. Love to entertain the chat, so keep us entertained, keep us engaged. And this is Matt Canik, joined by Mina Lay. We'll be back in just a few short minutes. Don't go anywhere, and we will have round 10 for y'all in just a moment. Taking a quick break. See you soon.
See you there, guys.